Modal verbs and how to use them. In this video, I'm going to briefly run through some of the main modal verbs that we use and how to use them. So let's go. The first two that I want to talk about are have to and must in the sense of obligation. So we use this when we are obligated to do something. The difference really in the meaning would be that must can be stronger. It also can be more of an internal obligation, but really we use them interchangeably a lot of the time. So don't worry too much about the nuances, okay, the differences. So let's go into some how we use them. I have to go shopping, I must go shopping. Okay, these are two things that really I have to do. I don't have to go shopping means that it's not necessary for me to go shopping. I have to go shopping means that it is necessary. Okay, so they are complete opposites of each other. I must go shopping means that it's something that is necessary for me to do. I mustn't go shopping means that is prohibited. I can't go. It's not allowed. It's not permitted. So in the negative, don't have to, and mustn't are completely different. Okay, they're not related. So be careful there. And then in the past, they're also different. So for example, today I have to go. Yesterday I had to go. It's just using the verb have, changing it to had with the to. But for must, in the sense of an obligation, in the past, you have to use had to. Okay, must doesn't have a past. So let's run through some examples. Today I have to work. Then I must go to the dentist because I have a toothache, for example. At the weekend I don't have to work and I mustn't be outside after 12 o'clock because of the curfew. Okay, yesterday I had to work. So different examples. Let's move on then to must as a logical conclusion. So this is a different way of using must. And it's when we come to a conclusion about something because of the evidence or because of what we know or what we think we know. For example, he has no shoes. He must be very poor, for example. Or she works on the penthouse, the top floor of the office block in the center of New York. She must be very successful. Okay, in the past then, must have been. She worked there, so she must have been very successful. So that's must and have to. Let's move on. Can, could, and to be able to in terms of ability. Just move my face out of the way there. Okay, so let's start with can. Can is something that you have the ability to do or not. For example, can you swim? Yes, I can. No, I can't. Okay. Could you swim in the past? So could in this case is can in the past. Yes, I could. No, I couldn't. And to be able to has the same meaning. Do you have the power to do it? Do you have the ability to do it? And this, it seems to be more difficult, but really you just need to change the verb to be, depending on your tense. Okay. So today, are you able to swim? Yesterday, were you able to swim? Tomorrow, will you be able to swim? And lately, have you been able to swim? And would you be able to swim if you had swimming lessons? So this is useful for all of the tenses. Can is for present. Sometimes we use it for future, you know. I can go to the cinema tomorrow. It's future, but we're using can. I could go to the cinema tomorrow is more that it's something that's possible for me to do. Okay, so that's can, could, and to be able to in the sense of ability. Moving on. To make requests, this is kind of a list of the least formal to the most formal or the most polite way to ask for something. All of them are perfect It just depends maybe on the situation, the social situation that you're in. So, can I have a cookie? Perfect for all situations. Very polite. Could I have a cookie? Is a little bit more formal and it's more polite and it's probably ideal for all situations. So if you're not sure, could. Do you mind if I have a cookie? This is perfectly polite. It's a little bit more formal maybe than can, again, similar to could. It's just be careful because it's a little bit longer, so maybe a little bit trickier, more difficult to use. Would you mind if I had, sorry, I should have written had a cookie there because it's almost like a conditional, but you're asking in a more polite way. So would you mind if I had a cookie? Although I wrote have because really when we're speaking naturally, we do make this error grammatically. So would you mind if I have a cookie? You will hear. Would you mind if I had a cookie? Is better grammar. Okay. Next, may I have a cookie is more formal again. And might I have a cookie is very formal, not really common at all, except maybe if you're having cookies with the Queen. So, I would never use that. And no one I know would use that. But yeah, you might hear that in certain circles, maybe in the middle of London or something, I'm not sure. But the ones that are the most common would be can I have, could I have, do you mind? And then more formal, may I have. Okay, let's move on. To be supposed to. So to be supposed to is to be expected to, or that you expect to do something. Almost an obligation sometimes. So let's go into some examples. For example, I am supposed to start work at 9. That is my work time. That is my start time for work. But sometimes I am late because of the traffic, or sometimes I go in early to start something early. Okay, but that is the time that I am supposed to start. My expected starting time. Be careful, because a common mistake that I hear here in Spain, because of directly translating it from Spanish, would be, it is supposed that I. This is wrong. So you always say, I am supposed to be there. It is supposed to rain, because the weather forecast tells me so. And yesterday, you just changed the verb to be. It was supposed to rain. Okay, so that's it. Or for example, if you're talking about the future, tomorrow it's supposed to rain. We would still say it in the present tense, okay? So that's quite common. It's not difficult to use. You just need to change the verb to be according to the tense. Moving on. We just have a few slides left. Should, ought to, may, and might. Okay, so should and ought to are the same. Both of them mean advice or probability. I should exercise more is something that is good for me to do. It's not an obligation, but really it's a good thing for me to do. I ought to exercise more often. It means the same thing, okay? Probability. I should get the job because I worked really hard. I have a lot of experience. I prepared very well. So, I'm 90%, 80% sure that I expect to get the job because I have all the right qualifications, for example. Or I ought to get the job also. I may get the job because I've prepared well is probability, but less, maybe 50%. Or it might rain because there's clouds in the sky, but I'm not sure. So the probability here, should is more likely than may or might, for example. Let's move on. So the modal verbs then in the past, we already talked about have to and must. In the past is had to. But these modal verbs, and we also talked about to be able to, the verb to be changes, to be supposed to, the verb to be changes. But these ones have a special way of expressing themselves in the past. Basically, you add have and the participle of the verb, and that makes the past. That's all. Okay, it takes a little bit of practice to do this fluently, of course, but it is just a simple construction that needs practice. So let's go into it. Some examples. I should have gone to the cinema. The movie seemed to be very good. Okay, so today I should go to the cinema. Yesterday I should have gone. Today I would do it if I had time. Yesterday I would have done it if I had had time. Third conditional. Must. He must be sleeping because he's not answering his phone. Yesterday he must have been sleeping because he didn't answer his phone. May. I may forget to do it if I don't set the alarm. Yesterday I may have forgotten to do it. I don't really remember. Might. I might have given it to you. I don't remember. Today I might give it to her if I see her, for example. And then finally, could. I could do it if I wanted to, or I could have saved it if I was there, for example. Okay, so that's a quick overview of modals. I hope it was useful. My name is Sabrina from Inglés con Kilian. If you liked this video, please subscribe and let us know what you would like to see in the future. Thank you.